Whether or not you're willing to admit it, unless you've reached complete enlightenment, everyone desires at least some level of wealth. However, many people believe becoming rich is a completely unattainable goal, and the only way to achieve it is by some stroke of good fortune, be it winning the lottery, inheritance, or coming up with the next $1,000,000 idea. After all, some savvy and not so savvy business people have hit the proverbial gold mine in some really bizarre ways. For instance, Roni Di Lullo struck her millions by inventing doggles, which, as the name suggests, are goggles for your dog. Or how about Erik Finman, who at the young age of 12 years old bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin in the summer of 2011 when it was trading for a mere $10. He cut a deal with his parents that if he could turn that $1,000 into $1 million, he wouldn't have to attend university. Needless to say, a few $1,000,000 later, you won't find the young entrepreneur walking around the academy halls. And perhaps most bizarre on our list, Gary Dahl, who racked in a smooth $15 million with his invention, the Pet Rock. That's quite literally a rock in a box. You hear rags to riches stories all the time, and yet so many people believe that they could never become rich. Well, why is that? Of course, depending on where you live and your desired lifestyle, your idea of what being wealthy means can vastly differ. As a worker making minimum wage in Venezuela, one can expect to earn 250,000 bolivars, or about 10 cents per day when measured in US dollars. Whereas, when compared to renting an apartment downtown New York, one would be lucky to find a studio apartment that has working cooling for under $3,000 a month. Then there are those individuals with richer taste who don't even bat an eye at the price tag of their new super yacht. With such vastly differing ideas of what constitutes wealth, it's hard to resonate with everyone's idea of what being wealthy really is. For the purpose of this video, when saying rich, for a vague frame of reference, we are referring to middle-class rich, where one's investments, be it in the form of the shares they own, rent they receive, or other income streams they may have, the total net income from all of these separate entities is enough cash to pay for one's desired lifestyle. For some people, that may be an extra $10,000 a year, while being well-fed and clothed, and having the time and money to travel on occasion. On the contrary, others may envision the ability to spend $100,000 as just an average weekend in Las Vegas, while those with more conservative ideations of wealth may envision middle-class rich to be somewhere between 2 to 6 million in total assets and investments. Only you can truly decide what your definition of wealth is, but it is important to have a solid idea of your financial goals. For a majority of you watching, obtaining your individual level of ideal wealth won't happen by accident or mere luck. It will likely be through long-term investments and a solid understanding of finances. Even if you somehow do miraculously find yourself to be one of the lucky ones, if you never learned how to manage your money, you will more than likely squander it away, like our poor lad, Mitchell Carroll, did, when at the age of 19 he found himself with the hefty sum of $15 million after winning the lottery. However, within 5 years he was back to square one, after binge spending his fortune on drugs and prostitutes, where if the poor lad had simply watched quick stocks, or to be frank, talked to a single halfway decent financial advisor, the poor bloke could have made some solid passive investments and lived the rest of his life with an annual income of around $1 million. Instead, he now works 7 days a week as a coalsman, but at least the man has a good sense of humor. As he states, "It didn't go wrong, it was the best 5 years of my life." Anyways, everyone's situation genuinely is different, and you should have a tailored approach for your specific situation. However, here at Quick Stocks, we've identified 5 major roadblocks that the average person will experience on their journey to financial freedom. The first major roadblock, which may be obvious, is a lack of education, or more so the lack of basic financial knowledge, which, shameless plug, you could help bridge the gap by subscribing to Quick Stocks and hitting those thumbs to recharge my dopamine. But the long-term effects of not investing in yourself shouldn't be overlooked. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize someone making $20,000 a year is going to have an uphill battle reaching financial independence when compared to someone bringing in 6 or 7 figures. However, we can't emphasize this enough. You can make a small fortune even while making an average salary. For many of you already subscribed to Quick Stocks, this will be repetitive, as most of you have at least a basic understanding of stocks and the financial world. But for someone less informed on the subject, understanding the importance of compound interest is absolutely crucial. Let me take you through a Quick Stocks hypothetical. We have a participant that we will call Average Joe, who is 20 years old and makes it a priority to invest $200 a month or $2,400 a year into a Roth IRA, invested into a basic index fund like your Quick Stocks. Recommendation Triple Q. Disclaimer, remember, here at Quick Stocks we are not a clairvoyant or financial advisor, but in the last decade, Triple Q has had over a 22% rate of return yearly. We are certainly not suggesting you should expect an annualized 20+% rate of return for the next 40 years. But for the sake of this hypothetical, let's assume this 10-year average continues for the next 40 years. Average Joe's $200 a month, or $2,400 a year, would equal just shy of a whopping $38 million. Which leads us to our second major roadblock many people face, which of course is the lack of capital. Many people find it difficult to find the extra cash for investing, but it can't be overstated that investing is absolutely a necessity to have any semblance of long-term financial stability in your life. Be it investing in yourself, business opportunities, stocks, real estate, collectibles, cryptocurrency, and so forth. For the most part, these investments require capital. It's true, the same system that makes it possible for you to become rich is the same system holding many people back. Which leads us into the third roadblock, yourself. It's human nature to desire nice things. It strokes one's egos and fuels that sweet, sweet dopamine rush. When we see other people with nice things, be it a Tesla or Rolex, we in turn want these nice things as well. The system has made it unbelievably easy to recharge our dopamine with an endless list of consumer-driven desires. All you have to do is wake up and go to work for the next 40 years, and you'll certainly be able to afford many nice things. And if you can't afford something, don't worry. You can take out a loan. You're good for it. And after all, you've worked hard and certainly deserve it, right? Well, I certainly couldn't fault anyone for choosing to live this way. Go out, get yourself the nicest, newest car you can. Buy the most expensive watch you can find. Buy your fiance the largest ring they will let you walk out of the store with. Just remember, your ability to save now is what sets you up for future success, not that Tesla in your garage or the Rolex on your wrist. Which leads us into our fourth major roadblock, lifestyle creep. The act of subconsciously or consciously increasing one's lifestyle as your income increases. For example, your boss tells you to go out and buy the nicest car you can afford. You have job security. You will surely be good for the money. Whether or not you realize it, you're becoming a slave to the losing side of capitalism. You now feel obligated to put in extra hours at a job you have no passion for just to make the payments on a car you truly couldn't afford. And the most sinister part is that once an opportunity comes your way, you won't be able to take it because all of your cash is tied up. If you become a slave to consumerism and spend all of your money now, you may miss out on opportunities to invest in your future. Which leads us to our final major roadblock, escaping the perpetual cycle. The best time to plant the seed was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Don't expect Mr. Beast to come give you $1 million. Maybe you have a trust fund. Maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse. But you never know when either one might run out. I preach this advice as someone who wants the best for you. I want you to be able to follow your passion, change the world, and strike it rich, baby. Whatever you want, I genuinely hope it comes your way. I'm just going to say, y'all got so much potential, and you may never realize it because you got stuck on the losing side of capitalism. Now that would be a true tragedy. And the most important thing is to give yourself the freedom to be a damn fool. But you can't recriminate yourself once you realize it was a mistake. Simply don't do it again. Or at least less often. And if you ever need to feel better, remember, at least you didn't win $15 million in the lottery and spend it all on drugs and hookers. Sure, you didn't buy Tesla, Amazon, or Bitcoin early. Maybe you got $100,000 in debt. Perhaps you're just getting started and hustling away. No matter where you're at, your opportunity is coming if you just give yourself the chance. Anyways, I appreciate y'all sticking around after my week break, even when I come out with these more abstract videos. Don't worry, I have plenty of stock analyses on the way. Anyways, as always, the best investment you can make is to go long on Quick Stocks. Hit that subscribe button now at, what are we, like 1,760 subscribers, and plan an early retirement. I will catch you guys in the next one.